Okay, we're going to do another YouTube video today. This time it's going to be for the HVAC guys, talking about voice AI receptionists or AI use cases for HVAC businesses. This can be in Canada, this can be in the US, but generally AI does not discriminate when it comes to how useful it can be and where you're from. We're seeing a lot of clinics, businesses, book discovery calls with our team because their receptionists are quitting, or they're on the brink of retirement, or the teams that are doing maybe a lot of the outbound calls aren't as efficient as the managers need them to be. So they're exploring AI solutions, namely voice. So I want to go over the top 5 use cases for voice AI for HVAC businesses, things like service reminders, lead follow up, and just answering calls for sales questions or products. And I'm going to break this up into shorts so you guys will be able to find it easier on YouTube. But the main goal of this is to just enlighten HVAC business owners as to what types of use cases are useful for HVAC businesses headed into seasons where they might be getting service calls outside of normal business hours. So after hours, answering services, help a lot of HVAC businesses that might get calls late at night for a broken heater in the winter. In this case, you wouldn't need an entire after hours answering service. You can simply employ a voice AI agent to answer calls 24/7, catch those loose balls, and even enter service requests into your systems through custom integrations and APIs. Like, we pretty much have to do custom integrations for all of the voice AI agents we develop, just because right now, a lot of the systems that we're even trying to connect to don't necessarily have APIs to start with. So we got to do a lot of custom build, custom development to get systems to communicate with this new technology. But what we're finding is that once we have that brand new 21st century voice AI agent communicating with older legacy systems, business owners are super happy because then they see a pathway towards automating their operations, without having to overhaul their entire technology stack. Really, we're just plugging in. I like to use the analogy: we're parking a Lamborghini, on in a junkyard sometimes for how old some of these systems are, but the Lamborghini still works amazingly, once it's there. So for voice AI for HVAC businesses, top 5 use cases. We don't want to get too deep into any particular use case, just to touch on them, just to give you guys some insight. But running an HVAC business means you guys are juggling a lot: customer calls, estimates, installs, service plans, emergencies. And when things get busy, like answering calls becomes difficult, especially if your dispatchers are constantly on call. Like, even answering some of the inbound, people are on hold. So voice AI acts like a virtual assistant to your phone line. It can answer calls, follow up with customers, send service reminders, even help fill the schedule, all without needing to hire extra staff. And we noticed last year when we were, a little bit down the ways into voice AI, people were really concerned about, well, we're replacing staff. Is this going to, take away jobs, stuff like that? But what we're noticing now is that we're getting a lot of, even clinics, business owners coming in and say, hey, my receptionist has quit, or my receptionist doesn't want to do this job anymore. It's just increasingly apparent that human beings, they don't like this type of work. And so getting an AI agent to do it 24/7 a lot more efficiently at a lot less costs allows human resources to do more useful things. Maybe, for a clinic, for example, looking after patients. For an HVAC business, maybe doing some administration that AI hasn't been involved in yet. But generally, people are just not so happy about doing phone calls. We do a lot of outbound calls for the agency just to try and bring some attention to AI. And I can tell you, no one here likes to do it, but we do it anyway because it's super important. And for an HVAC business, just being there to answer the call 24/7, also super important. That's why voice AI systems are really helpful. One of the most common reasons HVAC businesses turn to voice AI is to make sure every customer call get answered. So First use case is very, very low hanging fruit. Bottom line is answer 24/7 every call that comes in. You're not missing them because your team is asleep or busy. AI is quite literally catching every single call that comes in. So calls during and after business hours, greets callers with a friendly professional voice, asks qualifying questions to understand the intent or request of the call, books service appointments, routes urgent issues to on-call staff, and escalates when needed. And this can help HVAC businesses from preventing the loss of jobs to voicemail or missed calls, making a better first impression, freeing up staff, maintaining consistent responsive presence, even with a small team. Someone's sick or doesn't feel good that day, that's not going to resonate on the call. The voice AI agent's going to have that same brand consistency and even a reflection of your business culture on every call. Following up on quotes without lifting the phone. This is one is we're getting a little bit more attention from. Or at first it was just like, hey, we just need to answer phone calls. Like, can you help us? Like, yeah, no problem. Now we're starting to see teams get a little bit more sophisticated with their use cases. When they send out a quote, maybe their sales team's super busy. They want to have an AI agent follow up, call, ask about the quote, ask about a timeline for when they want to get the service, stuff like that. So every HVAC business owner knows the frustration of sending a quote and never hearing back from the customer. And, this is pretty much every business owner who sends quotes, like following up, making sure the person understands what the service is, making sure they're ready for the service. That takes a lot of time. And generally, the business owner is better off doing other things than talking to people that they're not currently working with because they got a lot of customers that they need help. So having an AI agent reach out and actually do the follow-up on quotes, saying something like, hi, this is a quick check-in from ABC HVAC. We're just calling about the estimate you received. Do you have any questions, or would you like to book a time? Like, the agent can say all that and get that person onto the calendar with the sales team. Or even, we can develop more customized automations where if someone says that the quote is okay and they'd like to move forward with service, you can build out more sophisticated workflows that then trigger sending them maybe a payment link or connecting them with a sales team member right there, like a warm transfer. There's all sorts of things you can do with the AI voice systems instead of relying on someone to do it all manually. Another one that's really, really great, sending service reminders that keep the calendar full. So if you have a schedule where you say to your customers, hey, every 6 months we need to do this, every 3 months we need to do this, instead of having someone call or relying on an email or text for those operations to happen, you can set up a workflow where as soon as a new customer comes in, you have a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, 12-month milestone call where you're constantly keeping them apprised of services, the best practices for keeping and maintaining their not their operating equipment, that's you guys, maintaining their HVAC system in a way that's helpful, and also scheduling to have service guys come in and do checks. And this can really help keep the calendar full with service requests, but also it really keeps the customer connected to your business so that when they do have an issue, they're not just Googling HVAC company near me. They're actually reaching out to the business directly, maybe even calling your voice agent back and saying, hey, I'm ready to schedule that appointment now. So having a voice AI agent call and make those service reminders is really helpful. Your team's not tied up doing it, and calendar it remains full enough where you're busy enough to have ongoing business. So HVAC companies are using AI to call customers before seasonal peaks to remind them to book. You can say something like, hey, this is ABC HVAC company, just reminding you it's time to schedule your annual AC checkup. Would you like to book a time now? Very, very simple use case that has a pretty straightforward intention for the agent. We like those. We call them steel pipe workflows. They very straightforward what they do, and they're very hard to break. So we definitely like those. This helps you keep your technicians busy during slower weeks because you've already scheduled all those calls, provide better service, reduce emergency breakdowns, maintain strong relationships with past customers. Again, voice agents are like literally maintaining the bonds between your business and your customers without you having to get so involved. So really good for building on engagement and community. Increase plan renewals by staying top of mind. So again, you're staying near the surface of where this person's thoughts are when it comes to HVAC companies, helping them out in their home. and generally going to give you the edge when they're considering whether they want to do a service request or referring people or maybe getting a new HVAC unit. So this one's super big because this is when we notice in Canada, HVAC teams struggle a lot. And it's not, I mean, in Canada, we got a lot of areas where we struggle in business. Technology is like a profound issue in this country for most businesses. Like we got a great healthcare system. We got a lot of buildings, and real estate's super huge, but technology is almost absent in a lot of businesses that are still operating like it's 1995, early 2000s. And those businesses are, they may even get rank on Google, but they're missing phone calls, missing revenue. It's amazing. Like one woman that we had said she misses anywhere between $50 to $100,000 in business per year because she's not able to answer all the phone calls that come into her business. So for us, like just bringing Canadians businesses or even specifically HVAC companies to a level of modern technology that allows them to compete in a way that is more efficient, more profitable, like it's super important. Like my personal mission has been to empower more Canadians with this technology because it has a direct correlation to GDP. In the United States, their AI spend is a direct correlation to their growing GDP. In Canada, we have a shrinking GDP and almost non-existent spend on AI. So for me, just getting Canadians apprised of the technology, implementing it into their businesses, super important because we are losing a competitive edge on a daily basis for every dollar we do not spend on upgrading our systems and becoming more efficient. So I implore you, if you're missing phone calls, you're quite literally missing out on revenue and growth. And that is a no-no in business. Like our team, we literally never miss a single call or text or email because we have voice AI assistants. We have people watching the same engagement stream, multiple people, because we know this business is not going to survive unless our lead generation is up to par with modern standards, but also we're catching those leads and nurturing them in a meaningful way. And that escapes a lot of businesses are used to just working with referrals or getting calls from Google and not really doing much else. So we know you can't answer every call, especially when you're out on jobs, short on staff, or working after hours. But when someone calls and hangs up or hits voicemail, that's a lost customer, and most people won't leave a message or try again. They'll literally just call the next person on Google. And we're noticing that there's quite literally no loyalty to businesses in 2025. It's probably going to shrink even more in 2026. People are loyal to speed. They want to know that their issue is getting fixed now. Like when I like to say that in our agency, we employ both speed and brutality in everything that we do because we know that the faster and harder we go, the more competitive edge we have over the longer period of time. So voice AI helps HVAC businesses recover those opportunities by automatically calling back anyone who didn't get through the first time, or quite literally just answering the phone when they call the first time. And so I want to stress like the calling back someone who missed a call, that's going to be going to the past. That's not going to be happening anymore. It's literally just going to be answering every call. So for someone to think that they got to call back everyone who calls the office, we're trying to build an operation for you where you don't have to hear the phone ring anymore or even listen to voicemails anymore. You're just getting those post-call reports into your phone, reading them, and then taking action on them with your operations or service team if you need to. You might not even need to because the AI automation has already booked them or scheduled them or what have you. Let's see what else. So the last really low-hanging fruit use case we had here was reaching out to inactive or past customers. Again, we don't the more and more business owners that we speak to, we realize no one's doing follow-up. Sales teams are barely even managing incoming leads that come through the marketing engines. It's like the whole idea of sales mentality in Canada is just like gone, and people are just expecting business to walk through the door. I expect business to walk through the door for Beak to Man. Like I quite literally have an expectation that we're going to get a certain number of organic leads every week, but that's because I put a lot of my own time and the team's time into generating content for SEO and visibility on Google and now even ChatGPT. So I can have that expectation. But we're talking to business owners who haven't updated their website in 20 years, telling us that business has slowed or the market's changed. It's like, well, you haven't done any SEO or employed any new technology in a decade. The market has changed, but it hasn't slowed. You have. So we need to make sure we're bringing these business owners up to modern day technology reality and get them more visible, more automated, with less staff and less budget. That's what it's come down to, especially in Canada as things become a little bit tighter. So you probably have a long list of customers who you haven't heard from in a while, maybe 6 months, a year, or even longer. These people are people you already know or work with and trust your business. They literally just need that one little touch to come back and spend some more money with you. So you give it AI a list of past customers that have given you consent to call them, and it makes a polite, friendly call with a message like, "Hi, this is ABC HVAC, just checking in. We haven't seen you in a while. I wanted to see if you needed any HVAC service or support." A very simple call, and you'll quite literally drum up business from a call like this, because the likelihood that someone will need service in a longer list of HVAC customers, but they're not thinking of it, they're not prioritizing, maybe they're putting it off, it's high. Let's say you have 1,000 people you haven't talked to. One or two people might need service now, but are not thinking about your business because you haven't done any marketing, you haven't talked to them in 6 to 12 months. And that's why building engagement and community around your business is super important. Putting content up constantly, like we're sharing content every single day through LinkedIn. Like there's not one day where a piece of content is not shared through LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a super channel for getting social signals through Google, contributes to SEO. So it's super important to me. I try to get content up into YouTube best I can. Not so good with the Instagram or Facebook. We have less of our ICP is operating on those channels, but 100% we want to have visibility on LinkedIn, YouTube, the places where we know business owners are going to find professionals that can do services for them, i.e., voice AI receptionist from an AI agency. So for us, honing in on those channels, putting up content regularly is super important, and that builds community and trust. With an AI agent and a list of phone numbers of people you've already worked with, that's going to build some serious engagement, because you're having a conversation over the phone, you're collecting information, and you're being generally present and helpful. So, filling the gaps on your schedule with an AI voice agent, it's relatively straightforward. We can integrate AI voice agents into quite literally any system with an API. So we've had to do some pretty sophisticated customizations on systems that have no business interacting with AI, but we do it because once we bridged that old way of doing things with a new way of doing things and business owners see the difference, it's off to the races. That their mind starts to absolutely explode with use cases. So it's really important to us just to get the little things that we miss day to day done with AI, so that business owners can then think, you know what, there's so much more I can do. Why have I been ignoring this technology for so long? Maybe I am slowing down. Maybe I'm no longer competitive in my space. We need business owners to start thinking that way, because in Canada, we've been doing things for the same way for about 2 to 3 decades, and it hasn't helped our economy. So final thoughts on the matter is voice AI is the smartest hire you'll ever have, where you'll never have to train. I'm so excited for how business owners approach their problems in the next couple of years, because it's not going to just be hiring someone. You can't just hire someone and your problems go away. And this type of mentality has punished business owners who think, maybe I got to pay someone expensive to come in here and fix things. They end up hiring someone who's doing the same things that might have worked 20 years ago now. You're not doing that. You need to build things that work, building systems, building workflows, building operations, building voice AI agents, and training them in a way where they only have to be trained one time or built or developed one time, and then that's it. They're pretty much there for as long as you need them or until you close the business. So as an HVAC business owner, you already know how hard it is to keep up with every call, lead, and customer. You're managing crews, quoting jobs, doing installs, and somehow you're still expected to follow up with every person who calls or asks for a quote. Voice AI gives you a way to do all that without adding more hours to your day or more people to your payroll. It works in the background, calling customers, sending reminders, and following up so you don't have to. Um, again, to recap the top 5 use cases: answer calls when your team can't, follow up on unbooked quotes, send seasonal and maintenance reminders, reconnect with past customers, recover missed calls, and convert them into jobs. It's not complicated, and you don't need to be tech savvy to use it. Like, we quite literally build everything and manage it for you. And that's the one thing that we're noticing with our customers. The deeper they go down this black hole or black box rabbit hole, so to speak, of AI, the more they just say, you know what, Alex, please just look after this for us. We love the technology, we love what it does, but all the intricacies and nuances that you guys have to employ in order to get things done, we just simply don't have time for that. Build us a super powered employee that can work 24/7, and we're happy. And we've been doing that, and they've been happy. So you just need to be ready to stop losing time and money to tasks you shouldn't be doing manually anymore. If you're ready for that step into the future, schedule a discovery call with our team. You might not get me on the first call, but certainly if you get to the point where we're building out a prototype for you, I'm definitely going to share some words. But one of our service guardians will be able to, pick you up in a demo, explore your current circumstances, the direction that you want to go with AI, and then we can start building out some seriously powerful automations for you. Anyways, if you're seeing this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I know we don't have so many subscribers, but and because these videos are not so exciting for the average YouTuber. But if you're a business owner and you felt like you got some value out of this a few minutes here, like and subscribe, and we're looking forward to the next one. Bye now.